Let us try to understand the types of potentiometric titrations. There are different kind of potentiometric titration, starting from the acid-base titration, a complexometric titration, oxidation reduction titration, precipitation titration, as well as non-aqueous solvent. But as far as our curriculum is concerned, we will just try to understand the acid-base titration, followed by oxidation reduction titration and precipitation titration. Let us try to understand a ideal setup required for a potentiometric titration. We require a indicator electrode. We also require a reference electrode, a potentiometer, a burette where titrant has to be filled and it has to be added drop by drop to the analyte, and we also require a stir bar with magnetic stirrer so that there is uniform mixing of the analyte when titrant is added drop by drop to the analyte. Let us try to understand the procedure for a acid-base potentiometric titration. We require a known volume of acid in a beaker. The analyte which we are going to take has to be in a beaker, and we just have to connect a magnetic fillet with a magnetic stirrer so that there is a uniform mixing while addition of the titrant. And we also require an indicator electrode, and this indicator electrode is nothing but a platinum electrode, and this platinum electrode acts as an indicator electrode, and this indicator electrode is going to measure the electrode potential of the analyte when drop by drop of titrant is added. And we are also going to use a saturated calomel electrode as the reference electrode, and this saturated calomel electrode in combination with the working electrode finds the electrode potential of the resultant analyte solution. And we are going to take a standard alkali. A standard alkali means an alkali or a base whose concentration is known, and we are supposed to add drop by drop of alkali to the acid. Since we are talking about an acid-base titration, we are going to take acid as an analyte in a beaker and alkali as a titrant in the burette. When we try to connect the working electrode in combination with the reference calomel electrode, the resultant electrode potential can be given by the formula E indicator minus E reference. And since we know that the E cell is nothing but the electrode potential at standard condition minus 0.0591 log H plus. Here we are adding base to the analyte, and the analyte is the acid solution. We can see that the H plus ion concentration will keep on decreasing over a period of time when alkali is added drop by drop to the analyte. Minus 0.2422. This value corresponds to the electrode potential of the reference electrode, that is the saturated calomel electrode. When we keep on adding drop by drop of an alkali to the acid, the potential will keep on changing. So you can see that the potential is increasing, and when there is a change in the jump in the potential, that jump we call it as a equivalent point. This will give us a exact endpoint when we try to take a first derivative curve, where we take delta E by delta W on the y-axis and the volume on the x-axis. Here we are going to use a acid as an analyte and a base as a titrant. Let us try to understand the second type of potentiometric titration, that is the oxidation reduction potentiometric titration. Since we are talking about an oxidation reduction potentiometric titration, we should take an oxidizing agent as well as a reducing agent. Generally, strong oxidizing agents such as potassium dichromate or potassium permanganate are used as a oxidizing agent. These oxidizing agents are to be taken in the burette, that is the titrant, and we are going to take ferrous sulfate as the analyte. The reaction of ferrous sulfate and potassium dichromate is enhanced by a sulfuric acid. So potassium dichromate is a strong oxidizing agent which will oxidize Fe plus 2 in FeSO4 to Fe plus 3. And this oxidation works very well in acidic conditions. Definitely without H2SO4 the reaction may not lead to completion. In the beaker we are going to take FeSO4 plus sulfuric acid and we are going to place a magnetic stir bar, and with the help of a magnetic stirrer we are going to have a uniform mixing whenever we are adding an oxidizing agent such as potassium dichromate as a titrant. Again we are going to use a platinum indicator electrode which is a working electrode, and we are also going to use a saturated calomel electrode as a reference electrode, and this combination will give the potential of the analyte solution. Following is the reaction which takes place whenever we are trying to add potassium dichromate with FeSO4. We know that the oxidation state of Fe in FeSO4 is plus 2. So this is Fe, it gets oxidized to Fe plus 3, and chromium gets reduced to plus 3. This reaction definitely requires the H plus ions, and the source of H plus ions is H2SO4. Whenever we try to see that we are having a oxidation reduction potentiometric titration, definitely we go with a combination of potassium dichromate as the titrant and ferrous sulfate or ferrous ammonium sulfate as the analyte. The E cell for the resultant reaction can be given by again the same formula, electrode potential of the indicator electrode minus electrode potential of the reference electrode. Using the Lewis equation we can find out the electrode potential of the indicator electrode under non-standard condition. Electrode potential of the indicator electrode under non-standard condition can be given by electrode potential of the indicator electrode under standard condition minus 2.303 RT by NF log product by reactants. This we know very clearly from our previous session. Finally, we can say that we are having Fe plus 3 as the product, where Fe plus 2 is the reactant. When we try to substitute Fe plus 2 here in the numerator and Fe plus 3 as the denominator, we get this final equation where the indicator electrode under non-standard condition can be given by this formula. This is a very good method to find out the potential of a simple oxidation reduction titration. Let us try to understand a last and a final category of potentiometric titration, that is precipitation potentiometric titration. In this category of titration, we try to take potassium chloride or sodium chloride as the titrant and silver nitrate as the analyte. The silver plus ions, they react with the Cl minus ions to form AgCl, and this AgCl gives a white cloudy precipitate, and this precipitate will keep on increasing as the potassium chloride is being added as a titrant from the burette. So initially the concentration of Ag plus ions is more, but as the Cl minus ions are being gradually added from the burette, this Cl minus ions, they react with the Ag plus ions to form a precipitate, white precipitate, which is silver chloride. This is another category of a titration where we try to get a precipitate of silver chloride. But we should know that in this category of titration, reference electrode is the same, saturated calomel electrode, but the working electrode to be used is silver chloride electrode. With this, we have tried to categorize different types of potentiometric titration: an acid-base potentiometric titration, oxidation reduction potentiometric titration, and finally the precipitation potentiometric titration. With this, let us move on to the advantages of a potentiometric titration. We have got several advantages for a potentiometric titration. You can see here This potentiometric titration gives a clear cut value. This value can be recorded on a digital potentiometer. And this potentiometric titration don't require any use of an indicator. We just have to add the titrant from the burette. When we keep on adding a titrant from the burette, you can see the potential of the resultant solution varies. We just have to know that we are going to use a indicator electrode and a reference electrode. The indicator electrode can be a platinum electrode, and the reference electrode is generally the saturated calomel electrode. We can see we are trying to use a glass rod to have a uniform mixing, because we are not going to use a magnetic stirrer setup. So this will give a uniform mixing. So whenever we are trying to add a drop by drop of titrant to the analyte, the potential can be seen varying over a period of time. And this will give the exact end point or the equivalence point based on the volume of the titrant and the volume of the analyte being used. And if at all actually we are having any turbidity or dark color or multiple analytes, we can have the exact equivalence point. This exact equivalence point can be measured even whenever we are having multiple analytes in a given beaker. And finally, the potentiometric titrations are easily automated. So nowadays we are getting automated what we call devices, and these automatic devices are called as automatic titrators. So we just have to manually fix a program where the system will try to add a required volume or a known volume of titrant to the analyte over a periodic intervals. This is a very sophisticated method of trying to find out the concentration of the ion of interest for our study. Finally, from this lecture, we have understood the construction and working of a potentiometer, and we have tried to understand different titration curve. Okay, so whenever we want to find out the equivalence point, we have found out that the equivalence point can be measured from a simple potentiometric titration curve, where we have taken the potential on the y-axis and the volume of the titrant on the x-axis. This will give a end point or the equivalence point, and the equivalence point is the jump of the potential at particular volume. If at all we are interested to find the precise equivalence point, we can go for a first order derivative titration curve or second order derivative titration curve. And we have also taken some of the advantages of this potentiometric titrations. That's all from my side. Okay, if at all you have got any doubts or any clarification from this video lesson, you can just please contact me, or you can WhatsApp to my number. Finally, I hope that you have understood this potentiometric titration as a final topic of electrochemistry. Till then, take care. Thank you.